1.5.
Same place in a couple of weeks.
What time zone is it, by the way?
Good morning, America. I'm Charles Gibson.
And I'm Joan London.
And I'm Spencer Christian.
It's Monday, and we're back. It's May 17th. I wore something so I would look like either a pilot or a flight attendant so you guys would have someone to relate to.
Is there a movie on this flight?
We were in the air. I kept my little stopwatch.
How many?
Totals. We were in the air about 48 hours of the time that we were gone.
Every time we would take off, right as the wheels would lift off, Charlie would let that little stopwatch go.
Time each of the flights.
From lift off to touchdown.
Yep.
Right. I'll actually total up, but it was just about 48 hours. 15 days we were gone and 2 complete days.
I think 40
we were
were
in the
coming
air.
home.
Weekend in the air.
Yeah.
All right, meanwhile, back at home.
We're going to do a show?
That's right.
Oh, okay.
President Clinton,
All right.
he told the nation last week that despite the polls, he's doing fine, thank you. He has been working on ambitious plans for health care and economic reform, as well as a proposal to lift the ban on homosexuals in the military. But his attention has been diverted, of course, by the fighting in Bosnia. How well is the president handling these domestic and foreign crises? Well, we will get a report card from Chris Matthews and Bill Bennett. Spencer?
Okay, Joan, back to things meteorological. A slow-moving storm system will bring the threat of severe weather to portions of Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, and northern Texas today. I'll have details coming up in this half hour.
Also, we're going to get updated, since we've missed a couple of weeks of news, on the tragedy in Waco, Texas. Only one of the 9 survivors of that deadly fire to be released from custody so far, and he's going to join us later this morning to tell his side of the Branch Davidian story. Also this morning, we start taking a look at the week-long series on Joan's visit with the cast and crew of Home Improvement. Joan went backstage to see how Tim Allen and his crew hammer out all that funny business. Meanwhile, let's go back to New York now for the do's. Oh, no, we're in New York, right? All right. Mort Dean, good to see you in person.
And thanks for taking me along to Australia and New Zealand, Charlie. Good morning, everybody. The votes haven't even been counted yet, but the leader of the Bosnian Serbs is calling the Vance-Owen peace plan dead. The voting took place over the weekend in a popular referendum. The Bosnian Serb people were asked to approve or reject the United Nations-backed plan to divide Bosnia into 10 ethnic provinces. And even though there are no official results yet, there's no doubt what the outcome will be. ABC's Jerry King has details.
It was a referendum the West considers a farce, not the Bosnian Serbs. The turnout was over 90%, and it's likely that the percentage of people voting against the Vance-Owen peace plan was higher. Even on the front lines in their part of Sarajevo, Bosnian Serb soldiers were able to take advantage of the ceasefire to cast their ballots. The peace plan would force the Bosnian Serbs to give up territory many of their comrades died for. Everyone here is fully aware that rejecting Vance-Owen runs the risk of provoking a Western military response. It's not that they don't care, it's a feeling of whatever will be, will be.
Whatever they do, if the West wants us all to die, it's better to die with dignity than to be a slave all our lives.
But this morning, the Bosnian Serb army commander, General Ratko Mladic, had a warning for the West. Bomb us, he said, and we'll bomb London. He added, we have Serbs in London and we have Serbs in Washington.
Naturally, the Bosnian Serb leader Radovan Karadzic feels vindicated by what everyone expects the referendum will show. But he's adamant whichever way it had gone, the result would change nothing.
The Vance-Owen plan can't be implemented.
Karadzic is often told that in the real world, the Bosnian Serbs will not be allowed to keep their gains. He sees a different reality.
Henry Kissinger was right today. In Italian press, he said the only real plan is to make 3 states, whether they be independent or be in confederation.
This weekend, the Bosnian Serb people have spoken, and like it or not, they agree with their leaders. Jerry King, ABC News, Palais in eastern Bosnia.
And there are new peace efforts being launched. The international mediators for Bosnia announced this morning that they will go to Croatia tomorrow for talks with the presidents of Croatia and Bosnia. And in Moscow, word that Foreign Minister Andrei Kozyrev will visit Croatia and Serbia in the next few days. He and the mediators talked yesterday in Moscow, where the Russians proposed that the UN peace plan for Bosnia be implemented immediately, implemented in places where that's possible. That might mean the Serbs could keep control of the areas they've recently conquered. The fighting continues in Bosnia. Muslims and Croats continue to battle for Mostar. Both sides have been shelling the southwestern city for over a week, despite 2 ceasefire agreements. Over 500 people have already been killed there, and hundreds more have been wounded in the fighting. The Mideast peace talks recessed last week without any hint of an agreement in the making. This morning, Jordan's chief negotiator, said that the Palestinian issue remains the major roadblock to a deal. And underscoring that problem is the continued violence in the occupied territories. Yesterday, Israeli soldiers shot and killed an 18-month-old baby and an 11-year-old boy. The soldiers had responded to a rock-throwing protest. At a different Gaza settlement, Palestinians killed 2 Israelis and 2 Arab merchants. President Clinton is heading back on the road again today, heading west to New Mexico and California. He'll be talking about the economy and jobs. And we have a report now from ABC's Kathleen Delasky.
After relaxing most of the weekend with his family, the president heads for the West Coast to sell his tax hikes and budget cuts to a state that is still reeling from the recession. Clinton's top strategist from the campaign says to be successful, the president must continue going around the Washington establishment.
Get out there with the American people and let these clowns in Washington live in their sea of negativism and push forward.
But some of those feeling negative are senators from the president's own party. They are threatening to vote against the president's energy tax, and some want more spending cuts. Clinton's Treasury Secretary said there is not much room for compromise.
We're always willing to look at any offers that are made, but I must say a great deal of study, a great deal of work has been done on this one, and it has been passed through the Ways and Means Committee with a very substantial margin.
Sensing a split among Democrats on the energy tax, the Republicans are busy trying to scare them away from Clinton's plan.
Clinton's energy tax alone, the National Association of Manufacturers says, will cost 610,000 jobs. Here at a time when Bill Clinton's talking about the jobless recovery, get serious.
The president disputes those numbers, but on this trip west, he won't spend much time defending his tax plans. His theme will be the importance of reducing the deficit. It may be painful, he says, but it's necessary. Kathleen Delasky, ABC News, the White House.
In Detroit, a suicide and the arrest of Dr. Jack Kevorkian. He was arrested yesterday after a man named Ron Mansour committed suicide at the real estate office where he worked. Mansour was suffering from cancer. Dr. Kevorkian was in the office when Mansour took his life. The doctor's lawyer says Kevorkian witnessed the death but did not assist it, which would be a violation of Michigan's new law against assisted suicide. Dr. Kevorkian is free now while authorities decide whether to charge him. Marvin Johnson was a baritone, one of the guiding spirits of the Motown sound. He died yesterday. He was 54. Johnson was hot in the 60s when he signed with Berry Gordy Jr. to record a number of hit songs. Although Johnson was out of Detroit, his career was right out of Hollywood. He was working in a Detroit music store when he met Gordy, who was the founder of Motown Records. Among Marvin Johnson's big hits, You've Got What It Takes, I Love the Way You...
Well, I got to tell you, when I left home, there were not even buds on the trees. I came back, everything is completely...
flourishing now.
Flourishing. It's beautiful.
Right. It's amazing what can happen in 2 weeks.
All right. Thanks, Mort.
Okay. Well, let me show you what's happening on the maps today. We have nice spring weather. It's broken out all over the nation, Joan. And, of course, that means the outbreak of storms as well, because this is the stormy season. Thunderstorms in the central and southern Rockies.
Thanks, Spencer. 10 minutes now after the hour. At his press conference last Friday, President Clinton insisted that he'd had a good week. I'm not sure everyone would agree. The latest CNN USA Today poll shows the president's approval rating dipping to 45%, a drop of 10 points in just the last month. So joining us this morning to update us on politics since we've been away, Chris Matthews, political columnist for the San Francisco Examiner and star, well, bit part player in the new movie Dave. And with us from Washington is William Bennett, the co-director of Empower America, a conservative think tank. Good to have both of you with us. Good to see you again. I want you to catch me up on
Clown here.
What's that?
Washington clown here, as Carville called it.
It was Carville's comment of yesterday. Chris, what happened to the new kind of Democrat?
Well, I think that Clinton, his public relations have been terrible. Well, there's three things. There's the real world out there, Charlie. We have an economy which is slowing down. We had a 4% growth in the last quarter of last year. Now it's slowing down to about 1.8. People can feel that. I also think they're afraid of the taxes that are coming. But I think the big problem with Bill Clinton is he hasn't reminded us why we elected him. We elected Bill Clinton for one reason, not because we wanted another world statesman or New World Order or Bosnia or any of that. We elected him because we wanted someone to get the economy rolling, to create jobs and opportunities for people coming out of college.
But Chris, is he governing the way he ran? Is he the same person as president as he was as candidate?
Well, his key program was to create jobs. Unfortunately, he blew it in terms of public relations because everybody thinks Bill Clinton lost on his stimulus package, his jobs bill. what happened was the Republicans in the Senate refused to give him a vote. And he's foolishly not made that the issue. If I were Bill Clinton, I'd say, look, Ronald Reagan came to town 12 years ago, and he got a vote. Tip O'Neill gave him a vote. How come I can't get a vote on my package? The trouble is, Charlie, most people in this country think he's been beaten.
He's going to do that, and you're going to say, look, the Democrats have the White House, the Democrats have the Senate, the Democrats have the House, and he can't get a vote? I mean, he
can't get a vote because they're using parliamentary tactics to prevent him from getting a vote.
Bill Bennett, do you see this as a different kind of Democrat, or is he the traditional tax and spender? Republicans I've talked to are ebullient about the fact that they think they've got the tax issue back.
There is a Santa Claus, there is an Easter Bunny, there is a Tooth Fairy, there is no new Democrat in the White House. This is a whole tax and spend. The problem with Bill Clinton is Bill Clinton. I mean, the honeymoon is over. We are now seeing what he's up to, and what he is up to is, you know, you've been gone 2 weeks, Charlie. Since you've been gone, we must have had 4 or 5 new taxes on the table. There's an argument going around that, well, they lack focus and they're all over the place. First of all, this is their style, to be all over the place, to look at every pocket of activity in this country and see if they can find a way to tax it. But the taxpayer is roaming the country now. Everybody knows this is what he's up to. They're going to try to retool and say it's the message. They're going to go to New Mexico. They're going to go to California. But the point is, the American people have figured it out. This guy wants to raise their taxes, wants to impose quotas. This is a left-wing guy, not a centrist.
In fairness to him, Bill, he says he has done more in 100 days than most of his predecessors, that he is being knocked by special interests who are resistant to change, and because he has such a broad program, there are more special interests who rally around him.
Well, he has done some stuff. I mean, he has reneged on his view on abortion, for example, that it should be safe, legal, and rare. He has tried to lift the ban on gays in the military. He has imposed a quota system on government. Yeah, he's done that, that's for sure. But the American people looking at it say, this is not what we wanted. This is not what we elected.
Well, one thing people don't want is to have an election this year. I mean, they want a presidency this year. The trouble with what Bill's been doing right now is sort of the Republican line, which is taxes. The people have had 12 years, really, of gridlock, huge deficits. They want somebody to come in and reduce the size of the deficit and put people back to work. Unfortunately, the Republicans in the Senate have been able to prevent that president, the only one we have right now, by the way. And the president's not Bob Dole,
Do you think people
nor is it Bill Bennett.
Are they clamoring for the energy tax?
They want to vote. They want to vote. I think if you ask the average American person, should the person we elected last November have a vote on his program or not, they'd say, of course he should have a vote. Well, Reagan got a vote. Hey, Bill, why don't
well, then why don't we let the person who's in the office run and govern on what he ran on, rather than doing something entirely different? I mean, he has changed the rules on this one. He's changed the rules on just about everything else, saying, well, we didn't know what the actual numbers were.
Clinton ran on a commitment to reduce
we are now seeing the real Bill Clinton, and the worst is yet to come.
Well, the real Bill Clinton ran on a very serious platform of economic growth by doing 2 things: reduce the federal deficit, lower interest rates, and part of that is raising taxes, of course, and cutting spending. And the second thing is to shift spending from the wasteful spending to job-creating investment, and that's what he's trying to do. And the Republicans, why won't the Republicans let the Senate vote on the Clinton package?
Chris, rather than being unpleasant, back to you. Tell me what you think of the spending cuts. You think they're sufficient to reduce the deficit?
I think a combination of spending cuts and tax increases are the key.
Do you think his spending cuts are sufficient?
Hey,
Do you think these are serious spending cuts?
How about we vote on it?
Serious spending cuts?
Do the American people deserve to have their president have a vote on his package or not?
Hey, he's got Congress.
Has there been a vote?
If he can't persuade his own people are running away from him.
Well,
Kruger is running away from him in Texas. They're running away from him in the House and the Senate.
Let me come back to Bill's question. Let me have you answer that question about the spending cuts. Do you think there's sufficient spending cuts
for me?
For you?
For me, I think that this president would be directly on target with the American people if, in addition to his tax increases and his some spending cuts, there were more spending cuts. I think he made a mistake of not being a couple notches to the right. But the people that were in there for the last 12 years were so far out to right field that they shouldn't be talking so loudly.
We're not doing last 12 years. We're doing right now. He's in charge. What he said he'd do during the campaign is not what he's doing now. What we're seeing is this new kind of Democrat turns into a very old-fashioned kind of Democrat, except much more to the left. Because if you don't want to talk about taxes, you got to talk about gays in the military, quotas, and all these other things.
I see 2 weeks away in Australia, New Zealand has brought you guys closer together. I'm delighted for that. Chris Matthews, Bill Bennett, talk to you again soon. 16 after the hour, reaction to Bosnia's referendum on the Vance-Owen peace plan.
Was misquoted.
Line up. On an international peace plan which would divide the former Yugoslav Republic into 10 provinces, all along ethnic lines. Now, it would force Bosnian Serbs, of course, to give back 1/3 of the territory their forces now control. We won't know the official results until Wednesday, but there are reports that the Serbs are overwhelmingly rejecting the peace plan and approving the formation of an independent Serb state. Lord David Owen is one of the authors of the peace plan and the European community's mediator in Bosnia. He joins us this morning from London. Lord Owen, good morning.
Morning.
If, as expected, and as the reports are, that this Vance-Owen is rejected in the referendum, does that mean necessarily that the peace plan is dead?
No, of course not. I mean, do you expect anything different? These are people who have taken land by force of arms, have ethnically cleansed it of people who used to live there, and have conducted themselves in a way which has outraged world opinion, broken humanitarian laws, broken the rules of war, and are now saying, amongst those people who sit on this territory, here we sit and we don't intend to remove ourselves. It's not in the least bit surprising. If the world community is prepared to be rolled over by the Bosnian Serbs, well, of course, that would be the end of it. But I don't think they are. And my meeting in Moscow only yesterday confirmed that the Russian Federation is very clear that they wish the plan to be implemented. They talk about progressive implementation and that we should ignore this referendum. I'm sure they're right.
Well, I read those reports that said that they want to go ahead with it anyway. I guess the question is what are the chances of success after the Serbs themselves have soundly rejected of it, to that happening peacefully?
Well, I don't talk about this as if it's a referendum in sort of San Diego or anywhere like this. This is a referendum in a war-ravaged country of which they've done most of the ravaging. So I don't think we should give any credence or credibility to this referendum whatever. What I do think is a challenge to all of us is how do you persuade, pressurize, short of all-out war, these people to give up their war aims and objectives. What they're being offered is an honorable settlement. They're being offered the right to protect their Serbian heritage and their culture in 3 large provinces. They have a partnership with the Croats and with the Muslims, and we're trying to keep Bosnia-Herzegovina together, stitch it together, if you like. Now, if they reject it, the question is, will they be pressurized by their own fellow Serbs in Serbia and Montenegro, who are now in the process of sealing the border? Now, whether that sealing is going to be effective or not depends a lot on whether we can get UN monitors on the border of Serbia and Montenegro with Bosnia, and indeed right round the borders of Bosnia.
Well, on that note, are the Russians going to send in monitors, border monitors?
Yes, yes. They will send in border monitors in, I think, reasonably large numbers, and I think they will also be prepared, if a little more pressure is put on them, to put forces in to help the safe areas policy actually into Bosnia. The Russians are in UN blue helmets already in Croatia, and I think they will go into Bosnia. I certainly hope so.
And what about the U.S.? What about the U.S.?
Well,
what role should we take?
It looks as if the United States won't be prepared to put peacekeepers into Bosnia-Herzegovina. That is a decision for you to take, but up until now, you've been very reluctant to do so.
But when the referendum happens, is this going to put any more pressure on the European community to maybe re-look at the idea of an airstrike?
Well, what do you mean by these airstrikes? I mean, what happens after...
To cut off that one border where the arms are coming in, especially?
Well, I agree. Well, that I have always argued for, that if the Serbians and in Belgrade won't cut it off, then we might have to interdict supplies. But at the moment, they're doing it themselves without bombing.
All right. Lord Owen, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
At JCPenney, we haven't just changed our style.
This week, welcome back to CBS This Morning. I'm Harry Smith.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Paula Zahn.
Coming up in this half hour at the Cannes Film Festival, Arnold Schwarzenegger talks to Mark about his new movie, The Last Action Hero.
In a crush of people. We're also going to start a week of visits with some real-life heroes, people who've called 911 and saved some lives. This morning, meet a little girl who was only 4 when she saved her mother's life.
It's time now for this morning's headlines. Michigan prosecutors are considering felony charges against Dr. Jack Kevorkian using a new law prohibiting assisted suicide. Kevorkian was arrested yesterday for being present at a cancer patient's suicide. Voting in a weekend referendum, Bosnian Serbs appear to have soundly rejected a UN peace plan. Bosnia's Serb leader declared the peace plan dead. And President Clinton is heading west this morning to stump for his domestic agenda. He'll discuss defense conversion in Los Alamos, New Mexico, and appear at a televised town hall meeting in San Diego. It's 28 and a half minutes until the hour. Mark McEwen on the French Riviera, where he belongs this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, Harry. Wish you
so
were here,
happy.
and you too, Paula. It's wonderful. It's the afternoon here. We have temperatures, I'll bet you they're in the upper 70s, low 80s. Take a look down the beach. You can see people up and down the beach. They have their little umbrellas for each of the different hotels. You're seeing the Carlton Hotel right now. Everybody out here, the smell of cocoa butter permeates through the air. Arnold Schwarzenegger coming up this half an hour to tell you about his new movie, Last Action Hero. Let's get to the weather. Take a peek. Where you're sitting this morning in the Northeast, you're going to see temperatures today up in New England. You'll see 60s, warm a little bit further down to the south, 70s in New York and Pennsylvania, back into the Ohio Valley. There's rain to talk about. Western Great Lakes to the Central Plains. Northern Plains will be cooling off. They'll see highs there, mainly in the 60s. Interior Southwest, you're looking 90s. Texas, you're looking 90s. West Coast 70s. Interior sections of Washington, Oregon, they'll see high theirs in the 80s. Paula?
Thank you, Mark. It seems like tough economic times have bred an entire industry dedicated to stretching a dollar. Money editor John Stair is here to show us how some professional penny pinchers did when we pitted them against each other. A CBS This Morning fight. We love it. Good morning.
That's right. Good morning, Paula. From the Skinflint News to downscaling the Tightwad Gazette, the penny pincher, there are a lot of people out there making money by teaching other people how to save money. Well, we decided to put two seasoned misers to the test for what we call the Battle of the Cheapskates. Meet our challengers. In this corner, Larry Roth. He's the editor of Living Cheap News, a California-based newsletter for the frugal. In the other corner, Sue Goldstein, a professional bargain hunter and the author of such books as The Underground Shopper and Great Buys for Kids. The challenge: outfit one child as completely as possible with clothes, toys, and books. We furnish the weapons. $100 and one child. They chose their battlegrounds. Our first stop was San Jose.
So, Tara, what are you interested in today?
Where Larry took 7-year-old Tara and her mother on a bargain hunting expedition.
Tara likes this raincoat.
Okay.
The merchandise in this shop is used.
Many times the condition is as good as new because children don't wear their clothes out, they grow out of them.
It's a cute stuffed animals, purple stuffed.
Searching through toys.
It's got somebody else's name in it, but you don't mind that, do you?
Books.
$3.75 for the top.
And countless items of clothing.
That's very sweet on her.
I like the sweatsuit.
Shall we bring out everything we've got? See if we're done?
Larry was able to take his $100 the distance at a store charging about 75% less than what the items cost the first time around. The final count?
Here comes your total. $87.14.
For that, Tara walked away with 3 full bags, including a winter coat and 2 jackets. But the entire haul had been read, worn, or played with by somebody before her. If the idea of outfitting your children in clothes and giving them toys that have had previous owners doesn't quite add up for you, there are ways to save big bucks buying new things. You just have to know where to find them. We went shopping with a woman outside Dallas who's made a career out of finding the best little bargains in Texas. Okay, here it is, $100. Showtime. Sue Goldstein straps on the gloves for her knockout deals at an outlet mall. She took 6-year-old Taylor shopping.
See, here's one when an elephant goes shopping. How appropriate.
Sue has retail prices up against the ropes.
Oh, boy. Ooh, stunning.
With her fast feet, she moves in for a 1-2 punch,
Oh, you look darling.
snagging a $48 2-piece outfit for less than $25.
Because you're buying direct from the factory, and by eliminating the middleman, you're able to save, at least 50%.
Sue says if you want quality for a knockout price, outlet malls can't be beat. We found shoes.
Your total is $17.50.
Books and games.
Grand total is $30.02.
Even hair ribbons and stuffed animals.
$21.16. Okay.
Sue's total, $92.98. She estimates that's half of what she would have paid at a regular shopping mall. And at the bell in the Battle of the Cheapskates, the winner is Larry Roth. Not because he bought a lot more stuff with his $100, but because he figured out how to get the last punch in.
The savings don't end when you buy the clothes. You can always bring them back if they're in good condition and resell them. So, you get a good deal both ways.
Kind of like a recycling idea there. Now, both challengers did make their $100 go far. If you walk into a regular mall, it can be hard to find just one outfit for that money. So the advice they both offer is to go the extra round in search for bargains.
Both kids were the clear winners, however, this morning. Thanks, John. 24 minutes before the hour. Next on CBS this morning, a real lifesaver at the age of 4. Be one of the heroes of Rescue 911. Mark?
This morning's MoneyWise report was sponsored by Coldwell Banker. Make the smart move in real estate. Call Coldwell Banker.
Has some advertising lost touch with reality? Well, this Coldwell Banker commercial isn't about happy, smiling real estate agents or customers, because it's a serious business selling a house. That's why, to increase your chances, Coldwell Banker brings tens of thousands of potential buyers from out of town to sellers across the country every year. That is reality. And that's our TV commercial. Coldwell Banker. Expect the best.
Help in a hurry. Call a day and night dealer to the rescue. Our quiet 2-speed plus air conditioner has a lower speed to help lower your energy bill. And only your day and night dealer has it. So call day and night to the rescue.
Oh, what brings you to Clausen? I am looking to cook pickles. I'm a pickle cook. Pickles are what I cook. Gherkins, crickets, dill, spears, chunks, chips. You name it, I'll cook it.
We don't cook our Clausen pickles.
You're kidding.
I never kid.
What about shelf life?
What about shelf life?
Most pickles sit on a shelf. You sit on a shelf. You've got to be cooked. I'm your guy. I'm a pickle cook.
What about taste?
What about taste?
We're just kind of picky about taste.
Unlike most pickles, Clausen pickles are never cooked. They're always cold, always crisp, always delicious.
Don't cook your pickles. That's funny.
Every 3/4 ounce Kraft Single is made from 5 ounces of milk. How do they do that?
They take the slice and make it into a rocket, then they shoot it to the Milky Way. And when it gets back, it's busted with milk.
Milk makes Kraft Singles taste great.
K-R-A-F-T.
Afraid swimsuit season will reflect badly on you? Then make the under 200-calorie...
22 minutes before the hour, all this week on Rescue 911 Heroes, we'll salute real-life lifesavers whose stories are told on the popular CBS series. To begin, Erica Hoyt became a very young hero when her mother almost died in her 8th month of pregnancy. When Karen Hoyt's placenta ruptured, little Erica knew what to do. She became a lifeline to 911. Here's how her story was reenacted.
Erica! Erica, bring me the phone!
Are you okay? Yeah, it's just so funny. Okay, put your daughter on the phone and you lay down. Hello? Erica? Hi, this is the ambulance, okay? I want you to be a big girl and help me a bunch here, okay? Okay, hon, listen to me. Mommy's gonna be fine. Okay, that blood can be cleaned up, hon, but it's gonna be all right, okay? But my mom is having a baby. I know.
Wow. Erica is 7 now, and she joins us with her mother, Karen, and the baby, who is now 2, and 911 dispatcher, Lori Nash. Good morning to you all. Lori Cash, sorry about that, Lori. I saw tears well up in your eyes as you watched that clip. How come?
It's hard. It's hard to watch it and listen to it. It just brings back memories.
Should we let Aubrey go for just 2 seconds here? Daddy's right around the corner. You could just stand there, Aubrey. What a blessing that she's here safe and sound and everything else. Let's go back a second. This happens, this placenta ruptures. What's the first thing that goes through your mind?
I knew from talking to my doctor that it could possibly happen, and he told me that there would be a chance that I knew the baby wouldn't be getting any oxygen.
Right. And Erica, how did you know what to do? How did you know what to say to the lady on 911?
Well, I was real scared, and I talked to her a lot of things, and I told her how it started and what my mommy thought and stuff.
Yeah. You were scared, though? Did it scare you? Did it scare you?
I thought my mommy was going to die.
Yeah. You did such a good job, though. How did you have her ready for that? Did you work on 911? Had you done any of that?
We had been watching Rescue 911 since it first aired, and I never thought to teach her, talk to someone until seeing other episodes of the show.
Yeah. Lori, how frequent do you end up having to deal with children on the end of the emergency line?
It's not real common.
Yeah.
It's, you know, maybe a couple times a week. It's not very often. But, you know, we try to get parents to realize that that could be their only link to help. And you really need to know your system. You need to know what happens when you dial 911. And that determines the age you teach the children. We like to, you know, recommend 3 and 4 years old.
3 and 4 years old to
Yeah.
start with parents. How did Erica do?
Erica did wonderful.
Could you believe it?
Oh, yeah. She was great. She was very intelligent, real bright. She followed directions real well.
She was lots to be proud of here.
Do you really remember this, or is it so many years ago now that it almost doesn't seem real anymore?
In the middle.
In the middle, somewhere in between.
You all look great, and Aubrey, here's Aubrey looking just as good as can be. Morning, Aubrey. Yeah, good job, buddy. Thank you all for joining us this morning. I do appreciate it. 17 before the hour. Don't go away. Mark and Arnold Schwarzenegger coming up.